Well, good morning, everybody. This is Charles Owen from Paladin, and welcome to the virtual user meeting for Orgill Fall 2020. I'm going to go ahead and show my screen real quick here. Hopefully, you'll be able to see this. Yeah, I see the audience view. I can see the screen. We are recording this for replay later on, and you can watch this on the webinar. So it looks like everything is set here. So attendees, we've got quite a few of you at the moment, and I imagine a few more will be trickling in here. But if you can just, as long as you hear me and see me, if you don't mind, on your little on your dialog box, there's a place to raise your hand. If you can do that, just to confirm that you can hear me and see me and all that good stuff. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Jolynn. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. All right, you can put your hands down. This is good news. I'm glad you can all hear me. Well, this is different. This is different than being in Vegas or Orlando or Boston or any of the other number of places that we've been in the past. So I really appreciate the fact that you're taking time out of your schedule today and you're buying opportunities to be here at the Paladin University and virtual user meeting for the Orgill show. Greatly appreciate it in your time. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump through some information here. And during the time that I'm giving this presentation, I would love to take your questions. But if I don't get to the questions until the end, hang in there. I don't always see the questions coming up. I'm looking at multiple monitors here, so I'm trying to stay focused on the presentation. Again, if you are distracted or need to leave the meeting for any reason, this will be broadcasted in the Paladin on the Paladin portal, so you can see this under webinars anytime in the future, probably beginning tomorrow. It's about a 24-hour lag time before it gets up to the website. All right, so I think that's it for the house cleaning. Again, my name is Charles Owen. Been with Paladin now going on 12 years. And again, I wish I can be there to see you in person, but we're going to just have to go with this for the time being. Hopefully, next show we'll be there in the flesh. So, what you'll learn during this presentation is you're going to learn about our 2020 release. So there's a lot of really interesting things that we have put into the system, helpful things that we put into the systems, including the new help request system, which you need to understand and know about because it's going to make support a lot better for you. And then secondly, we're going to talk about some integrations. We've got this fascinating firearms integration that we have. So if you sell firearms, any number of firearms, whether you sell 100 rifles or pistols a year or you sell 10,000, this is the integration that you're going to need because it's going to simplify your life incredibly. And then also we've got some accounting updates as well for you on that side. We have expanded mobile device support and some apps that we'll share with you. And then I want to get in some of the new point of sale features. So I'm thinking that this presentation is going to be probably between 35 and 45 minutes long. I will go ahead and as I mentioned, I'll take your questions as well. So let's just get into it, shall we? So the new help request portal, if you haven't seen already, the add a new case or whatever it said before has been replaced with submit a help request. So that's what we're calling it. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is a excerpt of what you'll see in Paladin. So when you go into Paladin and you hit the help button on the top, most of you probably are not seeing the support dropdown where you have chat support, submit a help request, and view active requests, but you will very shortly. In the meantime, we have the submit a help request will be down under knowledge base, I believe, on your system. So it all goes to the same place, and then chat support should be on the top. And the only one you don't have access to from this menu is view active requests, but you can see that in a different method. But this is what you'll have. Again, probably I would guess half of you have this out there as we spread the update across the United States. But there's some really good stuff here. You can what happens when you submit a help request is it walks you through a series of questions, trying to figure out what the problem is. The first thing it asks you is this a store down situation? If it is, it's going to instruct you how to get immediate help. If it's something that is not store down, it's not urgent, you can just follow the prompts. You can look at the different categories. Once you pick a category, you can put a subject in. Once you get a subject in, now you can put a description if you like. You can also put attachments in as well. After you close the case and view it, you'll be able to put in attachments. Your phone number, contact information, email, all very important. If you've already been in touch with a Paladin support tech and they gave you a code, you can put in the code down on the bottom right-hand side of this window where it says contact information. Now, what we do with this information is we categorize it and we break it out by subject, and we look for patterns so we can find and identify issues that might be affecting more than one of you. It also, at the same time, brings down all the information about your system, what version of Windows you're on, what version of Paladin you're on. It brings down detail information that we can then use to help troubleshoot the problem. So it is an effective way to do this. Now, you can still call in, but when you call in, our techs might say something like, well, let's go ahead and open up your help request and request a help ticket and just go through the process. Because if we do it here in-house, we're not collecting all that rich information that we're doing and collecting if we're pulling it from your system. So it's extremely important to do, and we will be more and more diligent about making sure that we put in help requests through your actual system. All right. Next, after you submit a new help request, you'll receive an ID and an email, and they'll just say something very similar to this. Your help request number is this, and it has been received, and we just tell you a little note, we'll be in touch with you shortly at the phone number you provided. All right, so that's the help request. Well, here we go. So there's one more slide. So this, the help request portal, as I mentioned before, it gives you a better experience with Paladin. It provides information to us so we can look for patterns. It enables us to help you, and it is the help request that you're using in Paladin is completely integrated with Paladin. So I mentioned before, it collects a lot of vital information and data, and then categorizes it, and then, yeah. So it just helps us provide excellent support for you. Now we'll move on to new integrations. The fastbound integration is what enables you to provide for firearm sales in your store and to be 100% compliant with the feds. So it simplifies the process. It integrates entirely with Paladin, and this is the fastbound application and software is a cloud-based solution. It's just, there's a small monthly fee that you pay to subscribe to them, and it's fully integrated with Paladin. All the information that's required for the acquisition and disposition of firearms is collected in Paladin and then pushed into the fastbound firearms compliance software. And in your bound book is automatic. The 4473 forms that are the background check forms are electronically captured right from Paladin. It requests the information and pushes it to a cell phone or a smartphone with a nice little through a QR code, and they can fill out their background information online. They can also do it from a terminal. They can also do it in hard copy. Any which of those ways are acceptable. All right, so done deal. If you sell firearms, there's no other way to go. You don't have to worry about risking compliancy or going under federal scrutiny or whatever else. This will handle everything for you. Between Paladin and Fastbound, your firearm solution is here. QuickBooks online integration. Now, we've had a different level of QuickBooks Online integration. This takes it to the next step, and actually this how it works with both the enterprise on-premise license as well as the online version. And so it integrates, it takes all the day-end information and pushes it into QuickBooks. Now what it also does, we've added a new feature here, where as you close purchase orders in Paladin, it will push that information to an accounts payable event in your general ledger. This is, in your QuickBooks solution. This is pretty sophisticated. As you go through your purchase order and you receive the purchase order and you close the purchase order, it then takes that information and makes it a payable event in QuickBooks. So that's the next level of integration that is going to, again, help you streamline your general ledger entries. So expanded mobile device and apps. So we've all seen advertisements on our website and probably emails with the Touch Dynamic Quest 3 tablet. It is a tablet that enables you to do everything that you would do in Paladin. It also enables you to take credit cards. And it is fully EMV enabled as well. It has a built-in barcode scanner. It runs Office 365 and other Windows programs, runs Windows 10 Professional, and it is compatible with the credit cards only with WorldPay using DataCap. So those are all the software, that's all the software and the processor that we need to load onto the system so you can process credit cards. It does require a connection to your store's Wi-Fi because it is directly connected to your Paladin data device. So any of your Paladin terminals or the Paladin terminal that has your database on there, this will connect to that. And it requires being in the store or somewhere in the vicinity of the store where you have Wi-Fi access. If you're looking to take this device and go off-site, that is not what this is intended for. It's intended for you to manage your inventory, do some line busting if you want, check out folks in the parking lot, as long as you have good Wi-Fi connection. But those are the things that are required. Now, what's nice about this is it does more than just checkout. It does inventory control. It does customer control. It does everything. Like I said, this is a whole nother license that you're adding to Paladin. And it enables you to do this. So you can do and accomplish this same thing with a laptop if you prefer to have a hard keyboard instead of a virtual keyboard. All right, one other thing I wanted to note about this is it doesn't have a PIN pad in it, so credit cards will be processed as non-PIN pad, and the ones that require it, you'll have to do that on the terminal in store. So what is a Samsung Galaxy and how is it different than the device we just talked about? So the Touch Dynamics Quest 3 is a full-on license for Paladin, and it does everything Paladin does. The Samsung Galaxy Tab has a very specific function, and that is it will do mobile checkout from anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a cellular or a Wi-Fi connection. Does not have to be in the store. You can be in Africa or anywhere else, as long as you have a Wi-Fi. Probably not going to have it in many places in Africa, but they do. You can sell from your store from anywhere. So it will collect signatures, it will process payments, and all of this is done through a little swiper on the top of the device. It does not support EMV, but it does support the mag swipe. So that works really well. It's a great solution, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the app right now. So the application that's loaded on it runs as a Google or Android app. And again, it works anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a connection to either mobile connectivity or Wi-Fi. All right, you can accept multiple tender types, including cash, check, debit, credit cards, gift cards, and charge on accounts. It will also store orders. So you can store quotes in your system and just say store it. So you can store the quote and then you can recall it in the store, or you can store it in the store and recall it on the device. Either way. We also do now respect pricing plans and trade discounts. But again, if you're on a rewards program like Repeat Rewards or ACE or any of the big ones out there, it will not work with those particular rewards programs. It just does the pricing plans and trade discounts. So that's what this device is intended for. It's a great device for a line buster. It's great if you want to throw stuff in the back of your truck and drive to the flea market or swap meet and just sell stuff out of the back of your pickup. It works great. It actually stores the information in Paladin. Another piece of equipment that we've got, and we've been pushing these out like crazy, the Ingenico Lane 7000 or 8000. The one you're looking at in the photograph right now is the 8000. It has a much larger screen. 7000 is a little smaller footprint. I think that's, yes, it says Lane 8000 on it. So the 7000 is a smaller one. It's more equivalent to the ISC 250s. But it does have a touch screen. It has a built-in signature, capture pin pad, accept all major payments, including touchless, and features a stylus for quick signature capture. So if you have signatures that you need to capture, either for credit cards or for account, putting items on account or invoices on account, you can do that using this device. Moving on to some of the point of sale features that we've added. So the first one we're going to introduce here is 1,000 board foot. Now we have supported 1,000 board foot on the purchasing side, but what we've enabled is 1,000 board foot pricing at on the selling side. So this isn't that common, but there are lumber yards today and some hardware stores that will buy from mills, and they have contractors that only want to deal with 1,000 board foot. That's fine, we can handle that. So we give board foot pricing at checkout, and we also show the quantity and each price in dollars as well. All right. All this requires is that in the inventory program, you set up your cost per 1,000 board foot, and you check the little box that says MBF. The first arrow in the top left-hand side up here is just setting the item up for purchasing by 1,000 board foot, and the checkbox down below is indicating that this is also how you wish to sell this device. Not only do we support 1,000 board foot, but we support square foot and ton as well. Moving on to feature number 2, square footage calculator. So we've had the footage calculator for quite some time. Control K is how you quick jump to the footage calculator. Well, Control S will bring you to a square footage calculator. This will manage all of the width in feet, the width in inches, the length in feet, and the length in inches. And you just put this information in. And then if you follow the screen down to the bottom here, on the bottom side, it says the actual breakout and breakdown. Numbered quotes. This is something that a lot of folks have been wanting for quite some time. We now are numbering the quotes, and it automatically puts that quote number in the memo right before the name or memo that you give it. It also puts it on the invoice itself, and it produces it and puts it on the receipt as well. All right. So I hope folks have had an opportunity to work with this. You should have this software now. There may be a setup to turn it on. There is, says turn on quotes by going into File Setup, the Invoice Store tab, and then select Enable Quote Numbers. It's right in your Invoice Store tab under Setup. Okay. Applying freight costs to EDI invoice items. So this has been a request for a while.
We've always had this capability for manual receiving of invoices, but EDI, electronic data interchange, it's always been required to since in the EDI itself there are no freight charges, we didn't have an opportunity to add that to the EDI because we were held at bay by the supplier. But at this point, we've gone ahead and added in and kind of intervened here and enable you now to add in a freight cost on those EDI invoices or inventory changes that come down from your supplier. So when you receive an item, and then this is only for the items that qualify. The qualifiers would be it's either an inventory or invoice that's coming down from the supplier. So price changes, promotions, and that sort of thing will not be eligible for freight costs, but the invoice items and inventory items will, and there will be that'll be indicated with a little either red X or a green checkbox next to it. The red X means it qualifies, it just hasn't been set, and the green checkbox means it has been applied already. So you can just do this by hitting the Apply Freight button, and it can be spread across either cost or the weight. And the best practice is to apply freight costs soon as after the EDI as possible. You don't want it to be sitting there for a few days while you receive more product in. It's just gonna mess things up when it comes to average sale cost and applying the cost across all the items. So it's best to do this as part of the process. Most people, when they receive their EDI, they have the freight cost and they can add it right at that moment in time. Moving on to customized email invoice messages. So everybody's had an opportunity to set a customer up to receive an email of a PDF attachment of their actual invoice or receipt. And in the past, it would just send out a blank notice that said, here's your attachment, basically. Well, now we have an opportunity for you to customize that message that goes in the email. In this case, in this example we appreciate your business, look forward to seeing you next time. Here's our store information. Thank you very much. This is great. We've also, if you haven't noticed on the invoice, we also added, some time ago, we added the actual invoice number to the name invoice on the actual PDF file itself. So we have that. All right, moving on. So another feature that we put in here, and this one is just a terrific feature here. So back-ordered items, most suppliers don't actually support the back order feature, but we do enable it and allow you to have back orders. But now what you can do is just by a press of a button, it can create a brand new PO with all the back ordered items, and you can just press another button and send it off. So this is a really simple way to take all those items, especially now when there's between 60% and 80%, fill rates. This will enable you to just resend that order with all those items that didn't come off that weren't on the truck, and you can just send it straight out again. Just press the revise PO on the EDI receiving PO details, and on the purchase order side, just at the bottom of the screen, you'll see revise PO. Just press that button and you're all set to go. Now what it does is that if you go back to POs and look at your new POs, it says revise PO 142. This was a revision of PO 142. It creates another PO for it, and it also names it with, here's the original one. So this enables you now just to go, after you recall it, click on it, you can send it, and it's done. So a great feature. It's going to be a big time saver. All right. Add precision to PO quantity and price. So this was this was something that was requested by mostly feed and seed stores. It's one of those features that, hey, if you're doing a ton and tons of product sales, you can go out to the fourth or sixth decimal point, depending on whether it's quantity or cost. So great feature for those stores that need it. It is here, it is now, and you can use it beginning today. You get to it just by right-clicking on the item in the PO, much like right-clicking on those items on the invoice, where you can see a whole set of different commands and functions that are available to you. Just called Add Precision. When you add the precision, it goes ahead and puts it down below. It actually puts the actual quantity with the decimal points all the way out. Schedule reports for weekday only. So we had a request. A lot of pharmacies aren't open on the weekends, and other stores as well. And particularly with the coronavirus, there was some reduction of hours. So we enable you now to produce reports and have them auto-produced to exclude the weekends. So all that weekend data that you might have in there, it can be gone. It doesn't need to be part of it. So that is under setting up your scheduled preset reports. You just go into the schedule and establish or pick the daily exclude weekends. That's all there is there. So Excel version of the credit card deposit report. So we've had a request. People say, hey, you know what? Great credit card deposit request, but I need it in Excel. I need to take this information and reconcile it with the processor, and it just works for me better if it's in an Excel spreadsheet. Great, here you go. You can also sort it by amount, sort it by credit card number, or however you want to sort it to do some reconciliation. Now, it includes separate worksheets for each employee or terminal, depending on the option you choose. So notice down at the bottom the different work groups or workbooks. You know, here's your report settings. It tells you what report settings you selected. Here's all employees, employee number 2, 3, card type details. There's all kinds of information depending on what criteria you select. It may either sort it by employee or by terminal. So that's under the credit card deposit report, which is under it's under the daily reconciliation report. All right, so the next thing is here we have a customer-friendly transaction report. So the transaction report is kind of a catch-all for the invoices and receipts, right? And we used to normally when you produce a customer-friendly, it just produces a PDF, but we have an option to push it to Excel. Well, with that Excel option, we added a few columns, thinking it would be helpful, department, cost, and margin data. Well, that isn't helpful if you're sharing this information in Excel spreadsheet format with your customer. You don't want them to know the cost or margin. So there is now in the accounting or in the customer-friendly view, if you elect to have your document pushed to an Excel format, it excludes department, cost, and margin, unless you pick the accounting department radio button that you see here in the bottom right-hand corner in the blue X or the blue square. That will show you all the same information that you're accustomed to getting on the previous one, including cost and margin and department. So what happens with those special order items when you have a rewards program? So if you're using rich rewards or repeat rewards, it's you know, sometimes you want to limit the rewards earnings, the point earnings from certain products, and you can do that with department and class as well. But now we've added it to where when you put a special order in, it can automatically be assigned a default class, and that class can be in those items to be excluded from rewards. Now, the reason why we do this is special orders, most of the time they're big, right? They could be very large orders, 2,000 to 20,000 or more, and you don't necessarily want to, and they're pretty competitive as well, usually. So you may not want to give rewards for that. You can still, but we gave you an option where you can have it automatically assigned to a default class, and that special order class can exclude rewards earnings. Okay. EMV stores. So EMV stores that store a lot of credit cards on file, that information usually has to be hand keyed in through the EMV device, right, through the payment terminal. That is because it does all the encryption and tokenization and everything else through this box. Well, now we've enabled you, if you're collecting a lot of cards, and we do have stores that like to collect and store cards for all their account customers, when they come in that first time establishing an account, they don't have, no longer does the cashier have to type in the numbers. They can just say, uncheck the box, manual entry, and swipe the card, and it'll pull the information, or swipe it or dip it, and it'll pull it straight in. So that, my friends, so we're at 35 minutes here. So that concludes all the information that we're sharing with the through this virtual user group today. I do have some other slide information. On this slide, you can go to this particular link, which is on portal.paladinpos.com/new-features/summer-2020. That is the link. This presentation will be posted. You will be able to view it again. Now, we are having a webinar week after next on September 1st, introducing our latest QuickBooks integration. So we're going to talk in more detail about what you get with that integration to QuickBooks. We've enhanced it a lot. So if you have QuickBooks and you're tired of either manually entering them, or you're posting all those payables into QuickBooks, you now have a solution that will get you beyond that. All right, so we have the 2020 release guide. Now, when you go to the 2020 release guide, you're going to see this information, because our audience here is Orgill. There might be some other features in there too for other market segments and what have you. But to stay relevant and with information, not only on Paladin and not only on our webinars, but also with retail, you can go to our retail science website, just paladinpointsale.com/retail science. Also, if you go to our regular Paladin and click on the top right-hand corner, it says websites. You can click on that, and you can go either to the Paladin store, or you can go to Retail Science, or you can go to our portal, which includes knowledge base and webinars. Also, you can follow us on, on Facebook, or all the other social medias out there. We're connected to pretty much all of them. So again, I thank you all so much for attending. I don't see any questions, so I am going to move on. And again, I appreciate your time. Just the fact that you're here with us during the virtual Orgill Market, we feel privileged, and I'm honored that you attended. And in signing off, I want to wish you all best of luck going through these crazy times. God bless you. And if you need anything, give us a call. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.